Alright guys, so I'm heading to George Washington University campus in Ashburn, Virginia right now. They have a, I don't know if I'm pretty sure it's a sports medicine facility. They do VO2 max testing, resting metabolic rate testing, DEXA scans. So, as you know, I'm trying to work on my health, and I've started dieting to try to cut down a lot of my belly fat. Just something I've been working on my strength, and it's just something I let go of. I just kind of lost sight of the fact that I could be at a much better physique if I just, you know, had some self-control. So I've been practicing a lot of self-restraint this past week. I'm down about 5 pounds this week, but I'm hitting my macros, which is the most important. I'm doing a flexible diet. It allows me to adjust my macros slightly within a week's time frame, but the main thing is I got to keep my proteins way up there, just because of my workout schedule. So today I get an RMR, which is a resting metabolic rate test, to see where I'm at. Anyways, thought I'd take you guys along for the ride and take a look at what's happened this week. Aside from losing 5 pounds roughly, I have set PRs in all of my lifts so far. You guys saw my deadlift PR of 435. Well, that was last cycle. This cycle, I'm up for 400 tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, and I deadlift on Fridays. I'm up for 400 for 1+. So we'll see if I can't pull out a double or triple on 400. 400 is so close to 405, which is 4 plates on each side. So I'll probably just up it to 405 and try to pull a double. I'll be happy with that. I might use straps and go double overhand for as many reps as possible. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that's where we're at. I set a squat PR last week with 300 pounds. And then yesterday, this week I normally squat on Mondays. This cycle I've been squatting twice a week. I started last cycle's deload. I squatted twice a week, and the 3 weeks into yesterday, I squatted twice a week. Now, this week being my peak week, I needed to start training for a cycling trip I'm going to be taking. And I'm going to be riding 300 miles, roughly 305 miles over the course of 5 days on a bicycle backpacking, bike packing trip to Pittsburgh. So I'm going to be going from Cumberland, Maryland to Pittsburgh. There's the Great Allegheny Passage, which is old railroad systems that have been converted into bike paths. So yeah, I'm training for that, and I started this week because the trip's coming up soon. I don't have an exact date, but I know I want it to be in the spring. I don't want to do this in the summer, so it's either going to be spring or fall. So I needed to train for that. I cannot do that, all those miles on my knees. While it doesn't hurt my legs the same way, I don't need that much pressure going through my knee joint, on top of squatting twice a week. One day super heavy, and the next day pretty moderate, like 70% of my 1 rep max. Try to stick in the 65 to 75% range. So as an active recovery, so I'd squat my heavies on Monday and then do active recovery on Wednesday. Well, Monday I started cycling, Tuesday I cycled, so Wednesday I squatted, which was yesterday. And I knew I wouldn't be squatting for a while because of the cycle training. I'm going to completely stop squatting except for my heavy day. I'm just going to do my heavy day, and I'm going to stop all volume. So I'm going to see if I can maintain my strength and continue to gain strength while cutting out all volume. So that should be easier on my joint. as far as my knees are concerned. My patellar tendonitis is already starting to act up because of all the activity on my knees. So we'll see how that goes. I put in 14 miles on Monday. I put in 11 miles on Tuesday. Obviously didn't cycle yesterday because I squatted. And I would cycle today, but I have these tests. So DEXA is going to measure my body fat and give me a starting point that I can go off of. So yes, 315 for 4 felt really good, and I knew I wouldn't be squatting for a while, so I decided to push things up a notch. So when I did that 315 for 4 yesterday, I decided to go straight to 360 and see if I could do a single. And it was a grinder from hell. I wasn't about to put the weight down. I wasn't about to drop it onto my support arms. I had them there in case I needed to dump the weight, but I just grinded through it, or ground through it, or whatever. I ground through it, and I was, blood pressure shot up, was seeing squirrely marks in my eyes as soon as I got to the top of the rep and exhaled completely. Man, I felt I was going to pass out. I was able to rack the weight, but sheesh, it was probably the hardest rep I've ever done in anything. Squats are very taxing. They're much more so than I think deadlifts. So anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's where we're heading. So let's get there and get the scan done. Find out what my numbers are. Alright, here for a haircut, so let's get this done. Alright. High and tight. Alright, so I'm much fatter than I thought I was. Almost 31% body fat, which is crazy because I don't look it. But I have about 2.83 pounds of visceral body fat, which is fat that stores itself around your organs and stays outside the fat layer, or should I say inside the fat layer. It's measured outside, separated, but it hides, right? You can't measure that with a tape measure, and that's the method I used to determine that I was about 24.6% body fat. But it's easily worked off. I just need to put time and effort, mainly effort. I tend to snack a lot, and that's stopped within the last 2 weeks. I've cut back drastically on and shown a lot of willpower to stay away from the snacks. So I would eat chips and salsa at night as a snack, and my body would just hold on to all that fat and store it. So I need to fuel my body more so with carbs and proteins and just continue my working out. I didn't just have an RMR and a DEXA scan. I met with a nutritionist, a dietitian, and certified in sports dietitian. She basically confirmed that the nutritional service that I've signed up for is spot on. The figures that she gave me fell right directly in line with the same ones I'm getting from Avatar Nutrition, which is a $10 a month service that adjusts your macros weekly based on feedback. So you measure your body fat, you feed that in, and you measure your weight, you feed that in, and then you tell them whether or not you've been compliant with their program that they spit out for you for that week. And you just track your macros, and it's very flexible. I don't have to limit myself in anything that I eat. I just have to hit certain marks. So for example, my proteins are at 171. I hit that no problem. And then my next thing I need to look for is my fiber, because I have a hard time fitting enough fiber in. So I had to make some wise food choices there, and I'm now hitting my fiber goals. and then my fats are low at about 41 to 43, somewhere in that range, and then everything else is carbs. So about 200 and what is it this week? Is 219 grams of carbs. So 171, 219, and 41, and I'm losing weight. It's very effective. It's working out perfectly. It's a little low in the calories. My metabolism's burning around 2286, but I went from being way less to being closer to where I should be, and as I weigh in, the system will adjust. The system will constantly make adjustments and tell me, you know, what I should be eating on a weekly basis. And I can mark off certain days, like I want to lift heavy on a Friday, and I know that I burn and need more carbs on the for deadlifts and for squats. So I can, on part of the configuration tool for Avatar, I can check off certain days and slide a slider as to how many carbs I want. It steals them from the other days, but it averages out over the week so that it's roughly the same across every day, right? So if you want to spike a day here or there, that's fine. But just know that it's being taken from other days. I highly recommend the service. It was developed by a dietitian by the name of Katie Coles. Mark, I want to say Mark's last name is Spranger, I can't remember, and then Lane Norton. So Lane is very well known in the powerlifting community. He's an elite lifter for his weight class, and he has a PhD and has written numerous articles on fact-based, scientifically proven methods of not just losing weight, but how to become stronger. So that's my wheelhouse right now. That's what I've been focusing on, getting stronger, and now I'm kind of tying it all back in together with the diet part to try to cut down my body fat. So that's the long and short of it. I'm fat. I'm much fatter than I thought I was, and I'm working on it. And I'm going to take you guys along the journey of me going from about 31-ish% and down to, I'm shooting for 18. I think 18 is attainable within the next 4 to 5 months. It's just going to take a lot of hard work and mainly dedication. Dedication. I'm currently expending quite a few calories by cycling a lot. I'm trying to put in 100 miles a week on the bike, and I put in 25.1 miles with my son on Saturday morning. We went on a bike trip. Very proud of him. We went to 7.5 mile mark, and to turn around have been 15 miles round trip. And I was like, let's go to 10. Let's make this a 20-mile day. He said, sure. We got to 10. I was like, look, Harper's Ferry's right around the corner. So we cycled from Shepherdstown to Harper's Ferry and back. And it was exactly 25 miles. We overshot the end and circled back just so we could hit the 25-mile mark. But super duper proud of him. Yeah, the training's coming along good for the long bike trip coming up. And for those that don't know Salty Shellback, go check him out. I'm basically taking this trip to go hang out with Salty in Pittsburgh area and just basically meet him in person. I've talked to him on the phone a couple times. He and I have shot emails back and forth, but never met him. So thought it'd be a great opportunity to kill two birds with one stone, meet a YouTuber that I get along with and that I follow his content, and then at the same time set a goal, right? I can that's a very attainable goal, to be able to do 6 days, 50 miles a day, back to back to back. So 150 miles there, spend a day there hanging out, and then 150 miles back. So I've got to start gearing up for that, and that'll be in future videos as well. As far as like stuff, I've already got a lot of the supplies for my bike as far as the bike packing portion of it goes. Anyways, I'm rambling, and I set a PR that I want to show you guys. So check out this PR on deadlifts. It's a rep PR at 405. Later.